My wife, my imposter syndrome. The doctor said they didn't know if they could save my life.
I'm just shocked right now.
That can be your moment to shine.
I've been watching you for years.
That's what creates the reality.
Ooh.
There's the link.
Welcome to Conversations with LÉ VAUGHN. Today we have a fan favorite. I'm a long-time huge fan of this guy since Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, other soap operas, but my favorite is Deacon Sharp on The Bold and Beautiful. He has been on everyone's TV set for years. All right, I'm not gonna call you Deacon. Welcome, Sean Kanan, to Conversations with LÉ VAUGHN. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you, LÉ VAUGHN. I appreciate you. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes. Oh my God.
And I got to tell you, you're rocking that hat.
Thank you so much. Let me tell you, I have to say thank you, actually. This is from a wonderful, talented hat designer, Zill, and she is down in Miami. She's from London, but she actually, as a courtesy, sent me a hat, and I'm like, what better way to showcase it than to interview Mr. Sean Kanan.
You're looking great.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so let's jump right in. All right, Sean, when did you first feel like you truly belonged in this industry, in acting?
Sometimes I still wonder. Let me tell you. It's funny you asked that question. I think a lot of actors, at one point or another in their career, have that imposter syndrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think probably for a long time I had it. And I would say really just like in the last 5 years or so, when my life has undergone some monumental changes. And in making those changes, one of the amazing side effects was that imposter syndrome went away. I think one of the great things about getting a little bit older, God willing, is if you become a little more self-aware, you feel more comfortable in your own skin. That's one of the real benefits of, as we go down this journey of life. And I think for a long time, I didn't feel maybe like I fit in, like I was fooling somebody.
Right.
And fortunately, that's now gone away. So now I feel like I belong, I guess.
Yeah, no, you definitely do. I mean, really.
Thank you.
I've been watching you for years. Just such a natural.
Thank you.
God.
Thank
Yes.
you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just, this year's my 25th year since starting the role of Deacon Sharp on The Bold and Beautiful. And then
I know.
I started in daytime in 1992 as AJ on General Hospital. So I've been doing this for a minute.
Yes, you have. Wow. So Karate Kid, that was another one of my favorites. How did that Karate Kid Part 3 change you as an actor and as a person?
I think it changed me in two ways. The first was that I had the opportunity at a very young age to work on a large studio film. And there is no substitute for the experience of working.
Right.
When I got that role, I was a guy that had paid for a ticket to see the Karate Kid and the Karate Kid 2 in the theater. And now suddenly here I am on the back lot of the studio, and I'm like one of the guys.
Right.
And with every industry, it has its own language. Like if you go to an operating room with a surgeon, you're going to hear all sorts of terms that we don't use every day. And if you go in to see somebody who's a lawyer or somebody who, works in construction, filmmaking is no different. There's a whole language to it. So, I was on the set, and I was green. I was, full of piss and vinegar, and I was a young, good-looking kid, but I didn't have a lot of experience. By the time I finished the film, it was geometric how much I learned. So that's what changed for me as an actor. As a man, what changed for me was, I had a life-threatening injury where I almost died making Karate Kid 3. And that taught me a whole lot about life. I had internal bleeding, Christmas Day 1988. Yeah, Christmas Day 1988. I passed out from loss of blood, and I had to fight my way back into this world and back into the movie, and that also taught me a lot. So
Oh my God.
people ask me, what was one of the most important jobs you've ever had? And I say it's definitely Karate Kid 3, not necessarily for the reasons people think. I mean, yes, I got to step into a successful franchise, and it introduced me to audiences around the world, but that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't why it was important. It was important because at 22 years old, when I was told that the doctor said they didn't know if they could save my life, I was faced with a very
Oh.
stark reality, and I had to get in touch with a part of myself that I didn't know existed, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so for me, that will always be a very special, albeit not something I would wish on anybody experience.
Right. Oh my God. I had no idea. I'm
Yeah.
just shocked right now. I had no
No, I know, I
idea.
know,
My
I know.
goodness. Did you feel pressure joining such an iconic franchise? Like,
Yeah, for
were you just
sure.
focused on doing your
No,
best?
no, no, no. I mean, I did feel pressure because the fact of the matter was, I was an unknown commodity. I mean, the producers hired me. They had hired somebody else. They fired him after 2 weeks. They weren't happy with the job he was doing. They hired me, but they weren't really sure I could do the job or not. I mean, they didn't really, I didn't have a body of work, and
Mm-hmm.
they hired me based on my good basic martial arts ability, and I had the right look, and I seemed to be able to do the acting, but they were really on me. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really until the final scene at the All Valley tournament where they finally said, you did it, but they were on me. It was not a whole lot of positive reinforcement. It was um, people keeping a real tight rein on me. I mean,
Wow.
and in their defense, I was somewhat of a young, undisciplined guy at 22.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was I was so excited to be doing it that I needed to be brought down to earth and realize this is a job. I'm
Right.
there. There's millions of dollars on the line,
Right.
and while I might be living out my dream, to
Mm-hmm.
them, I'm simply an actor they needed to do the job, and they needed to be sure that I could do it. So I
Right.
understand. Yeah.
So, what was it like returning to the Karate Kid world with Cobra Kai and meeting a new generation of fans? What was that
Yeah.
like?
It's not very often in an actor's career that you have the opportunity 35 years later to reprise a role.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the benefit of doing it once the show had already become an international phenomenon. By
Right.
season 5, it was on Netflix. It was distributed throughout the world and was the number one show while it was on TV. And it was incredible to go back and be able to reprise the role and play the character with a lot more depth, because I now was a guy that had been in the business for 35 years. I had a lot more tools in the toolbox, so to speak.
Right.
And
Right.
so that was fun for me. It was great to be exposed to a whole new generation of kids, many of whom weren't even really that familiar with the source material. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they loved Cobra Kai. Not all of them have
Right.
seen the Karate Kid movies,
Right.
so that was great. It was a tremendous experience, really was.
I bet.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Got to go down to Atlanta, and I, filmed down in Atlanta for a pretty extended amount of time, and got to reconnect with, Ralph Macchio and Billy Zabka, and
Right.
everybody, and it was one of the best professional experiences and creative experiences I've had the good fortune of participating in.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that show too, by the way.
Oh yeah, well,
Watch
you
film
you
on
and lots of others, right? Me too. I was a fan.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Are you guys gonna be filming more Cobra Kai?
No, it's done. We that was
Really?
that was the last season. Yeah, they wanted to
I
go out
didn't
on.
see watch the last season yet.
I'm in season 5 and 6. And as a
Right.
matter of as a matter of fact, you see that that's the uniform I wore in season 6. I had that. Oh, you can't really see it because my
Yeah.
camera keeps moving. I hate that feature. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, that's okay.
I don't know how to turn that off. But yeah. So it was really a lot of fun.
I saw the scene where something about you were in a furniture store, right? Did you work at a furniture
That
store?
was in season 5.
Yeah,
Season
I
6,
saw
I
that.
came back as a sensei to train the kids.
Yeah, yes, I love that.
And to fight Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Why do you think? Okay, let's go to Bold and Beautiful right now. Why do you
Okay.
think fans are connecting so strongly with Deacon on the Bold and Beautiful right now? Like you are heating up things so much with
Yeah.
Taylor and
You know, I think people's relationships with soap operas are longitudinal, and by that I mean a lot of people, they grow up, their mothers watch it, and then
Mhm.
they watch it with their mothers, and maybe even their grandmothers watch it, and these are characters they've watched over the years, and they feel like, you know, they're invested in their relationships, and they've watched,
Right.
you know, they know they can turn that TV on and they're going to be there. And
Yep.
I mean, it sounds kind of corny, but you know, for a lot of people, there's a sense of family with these characters, because
True.
to go to a movie, you have to, you know, pay the money to go to a movie, drive to the theater, go sit in the dark. But with us, you can just turn us on, and you might not be there Monday, but you come in Thursday and we're going to be there for you. And
Right.
it's kind of it's an anchoring element in a lot of people's lives. And I'm just so blessed to be a part of it. I love our fans. I feel a connection with them. And I think they've watched Deacon mature from, you know, when I first came on the show, I was like hell on wheels. I mean, you know, leather pants and sideburns and tattoos and earrings.
Yeah.
And you know, Deacon made a lot of mistakes and went away to prison. And now he's come out and he is a very different man. He's a much better man. And he's always trying to be better, although it's, you know, it's like everybody, he makes mistakes. And I think the audience recognizes that, and they root for him. Deacon's always been like the outsider. You know, he
Yeah.
hasn't had the money the
Yeah.
Foresters have had. He's not educated, although he's smart. You know, he's got
Right.
street smarts.
Right.
But you know, he's a guy that is in a world with other characters that have had a lot of advantages that he doesn't have, and yet he's a
Right.
survivor. And
That's right.
I think people root for that.
It's so true.
You
It's so
know,
true.
I've always said, and now that Deacon is experiencing success with his restaurant, it'd be very interesting to see how the relationship with Ridge and Bill changes if Deacon had more financial equality. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
It's easy for them to dismiss Deacon, you know, when he's a guy who's living on the periphery of life, because
Hmm.
you know, I don't know if you remember, but when I came back to Bold and the Beautiful this last time, I was living in a broom closet, you know,
Yeah.
but now, you know, he's got a solid relationship with both of his kids. He's a
Right.
respected business owner, and I think when that happened, and not just that, there has been a genuine transition emotionally of who this guy is. He's put in the
Mhm.
work, and so now, you know, I feel like they have to deal with Deacon with a little more gravitas, a little more respect.
It's true.
You know?
True. I
Yeah.
mean, you play that character so well. Do you have like Deacon? Do you have any? Do you see yourself in Deacon anyway? Is that how
Oh
you
yeah,
see it
absolutely.
so well?
For
You do.
sure. Listen, I think, you know, whenever an actor plays a role, you always want to draw on your own emotional and experiential Rolodex from your life rather than trying to fabricate emotions. Your actors are not just empty vessels fabricating emotions. You want to go into what your life experience is and bring that to the role, because that's what creates the reality, or at least
Right.
the illusion of reality. And you know, I definitely have had my ups and downs, and some of them have been rather public, and a lot of them have happened in the 25 years that I played Deacon.
Hmm.
And I think the audience, a lot of people are aware of that, and they kind of have rooted for me along with Deacon.
I love it. I love it. How has the fast pace of soap operas made you as a stronger actor, you think?
Oh, yeah. Um, I don't mean this in a pejorative way, but soap operas are like the McDonald's of acting. I mean, it's the fast food of acting, and by that I mean, you know, we do 80 pages a day. Now that doesn't mean I'm in all 80 pages, but
Right.
but I very often am in 30. It forces an actor to make the best decisions you can make with the amount of time you have, and
Right.
learn voluminous amounts of dialogue. You know, when you do a film, I just finished a feature film, terrific feature film that
Oh
my wife directed.
no!
She and I wrote and produced with our company Flip Creative. And you know, when you do a film, you maybe do 9 pages a day. And
Right.
so, you know, when I'm on a film set, if I have 8 or 9 pages a day, even if it's all dialogue, me speaking, I've got a really good facility for learning dialogue and memorizing it. Now, that's not the most important thing when you're acting,
Right.
but it's the choices you make, but you need to be familiar and memorize the material first so that you can forget it and then
Right.
forget it and then go play with the other actors and create. And so for me, I've gotten out of necessity very good at learning lots and lots of dialogue, because that's the gig in soap operas. You have to be able to do that.
So let me ask you, because I know you're also a producer,
I am.
right? So
Yeah.
how has being a producer changed your way and approach on acting, you feel?
I think it's empowered me as an actor, because I always say, if you're not Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, you're just another actor waiting for someone to hire you. And for me, I really have never liked the idea of tethering my destiny to somebody else's whims. And so I went out and created Studio City. And, we won the Emmy for that one. And for people that haven't seen Studio City, it's a tremendous series. You can watch it on Pluto or Amazon, and it follows my character Sam Stevens, who he's an aging soap star, and it's a show within a show. Sam stars on the #2 soap opera in the world called Hearts on Fire, and he's a guy that just can't get out of his own way, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And when you first see him, you think he's got the world by the tail. Stars on. So he must make lots of money and star on a TV show and work with beautiful women, and then you realize very quickly he's just like another one of us, just trying to figure it out, making mistakes. And it has lots and lots of recognizable names from daytime. The late Tristan Rogers is in it, and he won an Emmy for his role. And Patrika Darbo and Ron Moss and lots and lots of people you'll recognize.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so if you haven't seen it, I really encourage you to check it out.
Yes. Oh, so Ron Moss is in that. That's the old Ridge. I remember he.
Yeah. He did a couple episodes for us, and so you asked me how producing changed my acting. So I think it has taken away. Unfortunately, because most actors are waiting to be hired, and actors generally spend more time looking for work than working, you have to be very careful that it doesn't cultivate a sense of scarcity and desperation, because that's one of the most unattractive colognes you can wear. And so because I go out and I produce, aside from my acting, I don't need to act. I love to act, and I have the privilege of acting, but I also have other ways that I'm involved in the business. And when you don't need something, and when you're living in abundance and not scarcity, desperation doesn't seek in. And then it allows me just to do the best work I can, and not feel like the rug's always going to be pulled out from under me. And it also has taught me what producers look for when they're hiring actors, because I hire actors all the time.
That's so amazing. You get to do it from both sides, in front of the camera, behind the camera.
Gives me a unique perspective.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Did you ever have a setback? Would you say, like,
did I ever have a setback?
It changed everything for you?
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I mean, I got fired off General Hospital. That was a pretty big setback. And, we've had numerous strikes. We've had COVID. We had a whole period where reality television was taking over everything, and there just wasn't that much scripted television. I mean, life is a marathon, not a 50-yard dash. And in every marathon, you're going to have moments where, it looks like maybe you're not going to finish the race. And it's the ability to stay in the game over the long haul, and continue to work effectively and stay in the process and not worry about the results, that I think determines whether someone's going to be successful or not. And so for better or for worse, one of my stronger attributes, I think, is my resilience. I stay in the game.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
I have not always been the first choice, but it's like, you might be the second string quarterback, but sooner or later something's going to happen, and the coach is going to say, all right, you're in, and you got to be ready. And if you're ready, that can be your moment to shine.
Looking back over your career, what would you say you are most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of the fact that I've made huge changes as a person that I have been able to bring to my work that has allowed me to become, I believe, a much more nuanced and a better actor. I try very hard not to be redundant in what I do, and I'm always looking for new and exciting choices to make. As far as a single project, um, there's three that stick out. The first is Studio City. That was my baby. That was an idea that started up here, and now it's out there in the world, and we've won awards for it, and that's always really rewarding. Karate Kid 3, for the reasons I told you, and Bold and the Beautiful. It's a very special thing to be a part of a show for 25 years.
Yeah.
It's been the single most important business relationship that I've had in my career is with Brad Bell. The Bell family has given me a life-changing opportunity, and I'm just so honored that 25 years later they still have their faith in me to play this role. And I think in life, it's just really important to live your life with abundance and humility. You know what I mean? Just to be grateful. There's so many things to complain about. There really are. And if you look for about 10 seconds, you'll find a bunch of them. But if you just recognize all the gifts you've been given,
Mm-hmm.
at least for me, that's what keeps me happy.
Very true. You have to be grateful. It's true.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely got to count those blessings, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you a question. What advice would you give any young actors who may feel discouraged?
Well, I always tell my acting students, I say, you want to know the secret to being an interesting actor? It's being an interesting human being. And the secret to being an interesting human being is to be an interested human being, to be curious, to
Mm-hmm.
constantly be nurturing your creativity tree. And by that, I mean, going to museums, watching old movies, reading, studying a language, studying a martial art, doing everything you can to increase who you are as a person and the different tools that you have. And if somebody is frustrated, I would say allow that frustration to be something that pushes you rather than discourages you. Find out what's not working. What's not working in your career. Are you in acting class? Are you are you doing all the things you need to be physically and mentally prepared? Are you networking? Um, really do sort of a diagnostic of what is working and what isn't working. Don't worry about the results. I got to get a job. I got to be in a show. I got to make lots of money. That's absolutely the pathway to not succeed. Look at it as a process. What is my process to getting there involve? And processes are generally a bunch of effective habits strung together. And I say,
Mm-hmm.
look at your process like a chain and go through that chain and go, okay, this is working. There's the link. That's what's not working.
Right.
Why am I not succeeding as an actor? Maybe I have talent, but are you hustling? Because talent without hustle, that's a curse.
Mm-hmm.
And am I going out on the weekends and partying like it's 1994, or am I doing the things I need to be doing and treating it like a business with the respect that it requires? You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
and a lot of times, if you really get honest with yourself, you can identify what's not working. And if you can change that one habit, if you can strengthen that one link,
Mm-hmm.
suddenly the entire chain is strong and it's pulling you towards your results.
So also, I just want everybody to know, I'm sure they know, but maybe some people don't know, you also are author.
I am.
Correct? Yes.
I've written 5 books, and I got a couple of them right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're all from the Way of the Cobra series.
Right.
Way of the Cobra, Welcome to the Kumite, and then the most recent one is called Way of the Cobra Couples, which is co-authored by my wife Michelle. So
Oh my God, beautiful.
yeah, written 5 books total.
And that's I'm gonna go back on that for a minute. It's very nice that you said you and your wife work together as well. I
Yeah.
mean, That's beautiful.
Yeah, she's my creative partner and my partner in crime.
Right.
She directed the film that we just both finished, and we both produced and wrote it. Um, she's a terrific director, and yeah, I mean, almost everything we do together.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Before we close out, I just wanted to know, you have anything else that you'd like your fans to know about? You know, you have a lot of fans.
I got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I would really encourage everybody to please check out my books. And if you don't like to read, my book Way the Cobra is on Audible. I've got a great TEDx talk out right now. Just Google Sean Kanan
Yes.
TEDx.
Yes.
And you know what? You can follow me on Instagram at Sean.Kanan. And I try my best to answer all my DMs, and keep watching Bold and the Beautiful. There's some that triangle with Taylor and
Yes.
Sheila is heating up,
Woo!
man.
It's steaming up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I watch it every day. I'm not missing an episode of that.
Oh, thank you.
No
Yeah, and I
way.
love working with both those actresses. Rebecca and Kimberlyn are both terrific actresses, terrific people, and I'm really blessed to work with people I really care about.
Before we close out, I just want to say something. Go back to what you were saying. Um, how did you like Dubai? I know you said you went to Dubai
I
recently.
really like Dubai. I was over there speaking at something called the Gladiator Summit. I was speaking based on my books,
Hmm.
philosophy, strategy about success.
Right.
And Dubai is an amazing city. The architecture is spectacular. It's got the tallest building in the world, which is the Burj Khalifa.
Hmm.
And just looking at the architecture it makes you want to succeed.
Right.
It's a metaphor for wanting to succeed. Everybody over there that I met has got something going on. Like, so many people have moved there from England and Australia and Germany, and they've all gone there because it is an epicenter of business.
Right.
And the quality of life over there is amazing. It's super clean. It's super safe. You don't see any homeless people.
Hmm.
It's extremely religiously tolerant. It's a Muslim country, but
Right.
um, there's just they're respectful people. I can't really say enough good stuff about it.
Yeah.
It really is wonderful, and I encourage everybody to go over there.
Great. I was following you when I saw that you were
Thank
speaking
you.
from over there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. Well, like I said once before, you have no idea how exciting this was. I am a longtime fan of yours. Thank you so much for coming
LaVon,
on.
it's my pleasure, and I hope we have the chance to meet in person sometime. I would really
I
enjoy
know,
that.
me too. I'm coming. I'm
And
coming to California.
well, you let me know. You let me know.
I
I'd
will
love to see you. All right? You got
know.
my information, and now we know each other. And
Absolutely.
please don't be a stranger, okay?
Absolutely.